You've probably already noticed that sometimes you look kind of chubby in the morning. Your jawline appears rounder, your cheekbones are less prominent, and your cheeks look softer, which makes you appear less attractive. This is caused by fluid retention, commonly referred to as facial bloating. And lucky for you, it's one of the few things on your face that you have near total control over. Unlike the circulatory system, which has the heart to transport blood around its pathway, facial fluids rely on a certain diet, muscle movement, and lymphatic drainage to move around. And in this video, you're going to learn 6 ways to debuff and debloat your face as a black person. What most black people don't understand is that bloating is mainly caused from the inside. Most people tend to consume way too much salt because it's added in nearly every processed food that we consume. Just for you to get a better understanding, a tablespoon of salt is equal to roughly 6,900 milligrams of sodium. And that is where the problem lies, because sodium boosts osmotic pressure, pulling water along to keep blood concentration stable. This means your body will hold more water, which often accumulates in soft tissues, especially around your mid-face, eyes, and jaw. That's why the American Heart Association recommends adults limit sodium to no more than 2,300 milligrams per day, with 1,500 milligrams being the optimal amount. For example, a single slice of bread has around 200 milligrams of sodium, while instant noodles can contain over 861 milligrams according to the Healthline. So watch how much sodium you're consuming, and try to limit processed foods as much as possible. Perhaps the most common way to debloat and debuff your face is by draining the fluids in your lymphatic system. Most people use a jade roller and gua sha, thinking it's going to make their face look slim, but that's only half the story. Look, a gua sha doesn't aid in face fat reduction like some people say, but it can help drain your lymphatic system if done right. Here's what most people do. Get a jade roller or gua sha and roll it all over the face. Apply a lot of pressure and expect to get a sharp, debloated face. But what this does is just move fluids around your face. Here's the fix. Use light pressure when using the tools. The direction in which you move the fluids matters more than the pressure you apply. So apply gentle pressure around your mid-face. Slowly move the fluids down your cheeks, through your jaw, and down the neck, making sure the fluids pass the drainage points. Think of potassium as sodium's counterplayer. These two keep each other in balance. Loading up on more potassium signals to your kidneys to flush out extra sodium, increase urine production, and remove excess water stored in soft tissues. Now this is where most people mess up. They begin to load up on as much potassium as possible, thinking they'll never be bloated. But the opposite is actually truth. More potassium does not always equate to less bloating, as extremely high levels of potassium can cause your body to store more sodium, as a way of restoring the electrolyte balance. So aim for around 3,500 to 5,000 milligrams a day, as recommended by the American Heart Association. Some of the best sources include bananas, avocados, cucumbers, coconut water, and potatoes, though supplementation also works. If you constantly wake up with a bloated face, the cause is often none other than your last meal. Fernandez Elias, in his research, found that for every gram of glycogen stored in muscle tissue, your body retains approximately 3 grams of water. But that's not even the worst part. Since you sleep in a horizontal position, gravity doesn't work in your favor anymore, and that extra water has nowhere else to go but your face, usually rounding up around your cheeks, jawline, and under eyes. So avoid heavy consumption of carbs at night, or replace them with potassium-rich foods that won't make your face bloated. But other than reducing your nightly carbs, another step you can actually try out immediately is sleeping in an elevated position. Many people wake up with facial puffiness because fluid builds up in the face overnight. Holm-Weber and colleagues investigated how gravity affects the lymphatic system by comparing lymphatic function while participants were lying down versus standing upright. Using real-time near-infrared fluorescence imaging, they observed how lymph vessels responded to changes in gravity and found a significant increase in lymphatic activity when gravity-assisted drainage. Now think about what happens when you lie flat, face down, for hours. Fluid keeps leaking normally from your blood capillaries into your facial tissues, and without gravity to pull that fluid away, drainage slows. Hour after hour, more fluid enters than leaves. Because facial tissue is soft and sponge-like, it swells first. That's why the bloating shows up in your cheeks, under your eyes, and around your jaw by morning. But when you sleep on your back with your head elevated by about 15 degrees to 30 degrees, gravity starts working for you again, and lymphatic fluid drains instead of pooling, and your face looks noticeably less bloated when you wake up. The last part is the most crucial, because all the previous steps we discussed are essentially pointless without it. When you're dehydrated, lymphatic fluid becomes low and thick, making it harder for pressure changes, movement, and even sleep positions to be effective. A common misconception is that drinking less water will decrease the fluids in your body, thereby reducing facial bloating. While this logic may seem valid, it's important to realize that fluid buildup in your soft tissues isn't simply water retention. It's a localized issue with lymph movement. Drinking more water actually thins lymph fluid, making it easier to flow through the vessels and supporting the earlier steps in effectively draining excess fluids. Aim to drink a minimum of 2 liters of water a day. If you're in a warm climate, try to increase that to 3 liters, as drinking beyond that will not enhance lymphatic drainage. A simple trick to ensure you're drinking enough water is to have a glass every 2 hours. You can set an alarm or even invest in a water bottle with a timer if needed. If you want to learn more about black facial aesthetics, then subscribe to the channel.